Good afternoon. I want to welcome you. My name is Brett, and I am the lead pastor here at New Life Church. And we live in a world that takes light for granted. We live in a world where light is easily accessible. In fact, darkness is weird, and when we have darkness, we don't really know what to do with it. It's strange. Especially when you're in a room full of people that you might not know, it's kind of weird. Because we live in a world where I can walk over to my wall or to an outlet and plug something in and flip a switch and there's light. It's easily accessible. It's right there. It's at my fingertips. I can have it whenever I want. Darkness is weird. What's surprising to me is here in Minnesota, it's even light when it's dark outside. Have you guys noticed this? When the snow is on the ground and the clouds are low and the lights are shining bright from the city, you shut all your lights off in the house and you wonder if you missed one because it's so bright. When the snow is on the ground and the moon is full and bright, it's extremely light outside. We have access to light everywhere we turn. If you drive outside of Woodbury at night and you look over towards Afton when they're making snow, there's this giant ball of light. Look the other direction and you see downtown St. Paul, and there's light even when you're in the dark. And when you're in the dark, if you want light, you immediately can pull out your phone and there's a glow staring at you. And if that glow's not good enough, you just pop it up like this and there's another light that you can immediately have. And if that light's not bright enough for you, there's an app for that. It can make it even brighter. But light just doesn't come natural. See, light has to be created. Every form of light that we have in our world today comes from somewhere. It just didn't show up. See, darkness is what comes natural. Darkness just happens. Light has to come from somewhere. It must be created. So where did light come from? Well, we know where the very first light came from. Genesis 1:1-4 tells us, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. Darkness is normal. Light is not. Darkness is the absence of light. And when the world was first created, there was darkness, and God spoke in and said, "Let there be light." And yet for us, as we stand here today in a world full of light, darkness is weird, even though darkness is normal, and light is what's strange. And we take for granted that there is light, as we have access to it anytime we want. But God saw that it was necessary for light, so he created it. The darkness needed it, but as the world was created, it continued to stay in the dark. This time, though, as God had created many, many different things, this form of darkness was something unlike what was there in the beginning. See, this was a darkness that had settled over mankind because of actions that had been taken that brought consequences that were undesired, that kept us in the dark. Consequences that were not foreseen, but consequences that once again shut out the light. Yet even in this, God saw it and he knew there was a solution. There needed to be an answer. And so yet again, God gave light. John 1:1-4 In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and that life was the light of all mankind. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. See, God sent a light that could not be overcome, a light that would stand forever, a light that would come to the very earth that we are standing on. John 1:9. The true light that gives light to everyone was coming into the world. That light came in the form of a little baby. And this baby was proclaimed with light as angels appeared and the glory of God surrounded them. As they were in the dark, this light shone, this bright light that proclaimed the coming of this baby. And the light then paved the way and shone the way to this baby. As wise men followed the light, a bright star that would guide them to the manger, to truly see the light that had come to the world. You see, the light came so that we would not have to live in the darkness. John 8:12, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. See, Jesus was that baby who came in the manger, who's spoken of as the light that shone the way to the light, who is the light today, who gives us true light, who said he is the light, and if we accept him for who he is, we will never, ever, ever walk in darkness. We'll have the light of life. The light of life that he speaks of is eternal life, where there will be no sun, there will be no moon, there will be no stars, because the true light will shine forever. And all we have to do to receive that light is to believe. John 3:16. For God so loved the world, he sent his one and only Son, that whosoever believes in him will never perish but have eternal life. We'll have the light of life that Jesus spoke of. And what's incredible is that light, if we believe, then lives within us. 2 Corinthians 4:6. For God, who said, let there be light in the darkness, the creator of light at the beginning, has made this light shine in our hearts so we could know the glory of God that is seen in the face of Jesus Christ. That the light of the world who came, if we believe, lives within us, and we have eternal life, and we then have the light inside of us. And so what's our job once we have that light? It's to show it off to the whole world. Matthew 5:14-16, for you are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on its stand, and it gets light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. You see, we don't like darkness. I've never heard anybody tell me they're scared of the light. I've heard people say they're scared of the dark. And yet even that's a thing in our world that's fading, because rarely are we ever in the dark. I think at times, because we're not in the dark, we then forget how incredible the light is. And yet the light has come to show the whole world what it truly means to be in the light. And that when we understand that light and we believe that Jesus is the light of the world, that we then are lights in this world to show the world who Jesus is through us. For he is the light of the world. So I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in darkness. I want to live in light. And I want to be a light, and I want others to see that light. And I want to be a place here at New Life where we spread that light to everyone we know. And so that's a tradition that we have here at New Life Church. We light lights. I know it's a crazy concept, but we use fire in church. Completely unsafe, but very symbolic. And so we're going to sing this last song today as we remember the light of the world who has come to give us light. And we're going to have individuals on both sides here with lighters that are going to light candles. Each one of you should have grabbed one as you came in, so now is the time to grab that candle. And as they go down the side and light your candle, pass that light to the person next to you. And pass it to the person behind you and continue to give that light as a symbol of the fact that the light came into the world, that Jesus came and gave us his light, and our responsibility then is to give that light to others. And then as we hold that light, as we sing Silent Night, let's remember why we're here and the reason for this season. As a baby came, born in a manger, to give light to the whole world.